Hey, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jam.
And it's all kittens and rainbows here on Podcast for Your Life because today we are talking about emojis.
That's right, Jason. And emojis has never been a better time to invest, honestly.
We have a crap emoji chock full.
Chock full. Yeah, so emojis.
Thank you.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, emojis are pretty cool. And before we get into that, though, what the heck is an emoji?
That's such a good question. I think it's always expanding. They're always adding stuff.
Yeah.
But I think one of the best descriptions you could give is like simplified cartoon, versions of pictures and emotions, which is where the emo part comes from. Emoji.
Oh, is it?
Gotta be, right?
Where does the G part come from?
I don't know. But emotions, things that are helpful to communicate, because it's not just pictures. I mean, we could just send pictures to each other. It's like, part of texting and stuff. So it's images that help you communicate feelings and stuff without using words.
Yeah. It's like a picture is worth 1,000 words into somebody's soul, sort of a deal.
Yeah.
Also, I think an important part about emojis is that they're code.
Right.
So they're actually like a code that is sent digitally amongst devices, and that's why they look different on different platforms. Like Facebook and Twitter have their own emojis, and iPhone and Android have their own emojis.
Right.
And then even within Android, there's like 80 million different.
Right. But even below how they look, the code under that is the same. So it's like code is like, I mean, we don't know how to code. We don't know anything about that. But code equal happy smile or whatever. And it's like, okay, each platform has its own way of
displaying it. Yeah. But it's still code.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty fascinating. Yeah, I think emojis definitely convey emotions. I think that's a good way to put it. And I think that's how I've always seen it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of other ones in there, like the donut emoji.
Yeah, which conveys an emotion for me, at least, of really good.
Of love.
And I want it.
And I want
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know what we're talking about. We don't have to go too far into it because you know what emojis are, most likely. If you know how to use a podcast, you know how to emoji, I think.
Emoji. Is that the verb for it? That's really cool. I should start using that.
Let's do it.
So, moving on to our...
So, where the heck did they come from is a question. We want to get to the bottom of that. And we didn't do any research. We're just trying to go from our own memories of, how did we get into this world of emotions and wearing them on our sleeves now in graphic form?
Wearing them on our texts.
So,
and our tweets.
In your mind, what was the potential earliest precursor, earliest option, version of emojis?
Yeah, I think emojis descended from emoticons.
Okay.
Emoticons were just the ones that used your keyboard, like the characters on your keyboard, to make things. People have done some really cool stuff with emoticons and with keyboard, or like the keys, the letters and the symbols and stuff. They've done a lot of fun stuff. One of my favorite emoticons was the Jeep one. So they created a Jeep out of hyphens and curves and stuff.
Okay, so this might be a slightly different set of terminology, and maybe I'm in the wrong, but I remember emoticons actually referring to the original smiley faces, not the ones you typed on a keyboard, but ones that you could use in AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh.
They weren't called emojis yet, and they were called emoticons even then, because it was emotion icons, and they were little icons.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't know, maybe they use the same term, but I don't know what to call the keyboard versions. But you're right, though, because
I don't know.
Is that what you're saying? The first version was colon parenthesis?
Yeah, like
stuff?
a smiley face or a sad face.
Yeah.
And that probably, it could date back to the typewriter days. Potentially somebody on a typewriter found that at one point. That could be.
Wouldn't that be awesome if it's this old tale as old as time kind of thing, where it's this person, this woman I'm writing this love letter to, she's gonna have to turn her head sideways, but I think she's gonna get it, and she's gonna see that. Yeah, this is a little smile, just for her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even though they still had to sign their name on it and stuff.
What if he was doing this? What if he was writing a sentence and he kept mulling it over, and realizing one typewriters are annoying to type on because if you mess up, you got to go back and refeed the thing or whatever, something like that. What if he's like, oh, you know what? This sentence is confusing, And I want to make sure that she knows that I'm being happy about this. I'm not being passive aggressive, not being anything. How can I make it clear to her that the way I'm writing this sentence is out of happiness? Is there something I could do? And then he's like, this little curve here.
Wait a minute.
Looks like a smile.
Looks like lips.
Maybe if I can put the colon in the smile thing, she'll be reading the sentence correctly and realize, oh, he's saying it's in a happy way.
Incredible. That definitely could have happened.
Because surely the misreading of text and writing and stuff like that isn't a new problem, right? It's got to be as old as writing itself.
Yeah. As long as colons have been around.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the organ, but
Oh, I was going to say both.
Yeah, both organs. As long as colons have been around.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, they were the text. You could type a colon smiley face with the parenthesis thing, and then did you ever use AOL Instant Messenger?
I didn't know.
Okay,
that was during my time, but I just didn't.
Yeah.
So the first time I used an emoticon or something was probably in a text message when I was in my teens.
Okay, so that's amazing. So Instant Messenger had the feature of different emoticons, what they called them, and they were smiley faces and stuff like
the emojis nowadays.
Yeah, they were yellow and stuff.
I think I know what you're talking about,
but there were so few. It was like you could do happy, sad, mad, laugh. That just very I don't remember how many, but probably 12 options. And I bet one reason why you didn't experience it is I know that AOL Instant Messenger was huge in public school. It was oh, get on that after or whatever. And if I was in public school, I probably had no reason to even want to, or never even heard about it.
Sure.
But we would use that. We would use those smiley faces. But I remember it feeling like a little kid thing once I started getting older. The idea of I don't want to use those. Or AOL Instant Messenger died pretty quick. I mean, it had a super big rush of popularity and then totally fizzled out. So that was my impression of emoticons for a long time. Was just that, just the little middle school days.
Yeah. Mine were just something that I used in text, and other people were doing it, and so I saw, oh, okay, that's a smiley face. And I don't know if it really took me time to think it was a smiley face. I think it just was oh, you kind of tilt your head to the side, and you're like, oh, okay, smiley face, I get it. So so it's something that I think a lot of people in my age growing up, they picked up pretty quick, and they've really changed over the years. I mean, they're not only changing to become a basic set of emojis, but then from emoticons to emojis where they have more distinct facial features, and then along the way they created different skin type or skin colors, and then they added lots of random other things where it's not just faces anymore. It's people doing actions and stuff like that, and and then every year they make new ones.
Yeah,
it's pretty fascinating.
I was against them at first because when they started coming back around, because my understanding, my memory could be wrong about this, but I understood that there was an app that came out because you could, even early iPhones, you could add a different keyboard to your keyboard list or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I remember there being an app called Emoji. First I ever heard that word, I thought it was called emoticon. Emoji had the keyboard you could add to your thing to use those. They kind of had the more modern look to them that we're used to now, and they also weren't owned by Apple, to my understanding. And then I think it just caught on like crazy. It became, everybody was installing it, and Apple then bought it and made it like an inherent part of the deal. And then also every other company started having their own versions.
They're everywhere.
But I was so against it at first because I still thought about that whole middle school deal, and I thought, I don't want to use that. It felt too easy almost. Like I shouldn't actually be able to describe my feelings or my thoughts or whatever, without having to lean on them. But I came around.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I used to be against them. How do you feel about emojis?
Yeah, I really enjoy emojis. I think they're kind of fun. They add color and maybe a little bit of personality to text. I think I kind of like get to know people a little bit better by the emojis they use. I think conversations that are just emojis are interesting, but I don't know if that's necessarily like, I don't know. Those are interesting. But for me, I've had some instances where I think they've really added value to the conversation personally from my perspective, because with written text, it is really easy to read into someone's emotions or how they're feeling or their attitude.
Misunderstand what they're saying.
It's really easy to read into their text.
Totally.
So for me, I've used emojis to like show people, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I'm saying this strong statement with a smile. It shows that like if you were here in person, you'd be able to see how I'm reacting, my facial expressions and stuff. So because I can't talk to you face to face, emojis have I've used them as kind of a substitute until we see each other again. So
I know people that do that really well. There is a friend of mine who every time I see him use a smiley face, he's actually saying something that's a little bit of a complaint, or it almost seems a little passive aggressive.
Sure.
So an example would be like, I don't really think that we should do that because it could offend some people that we're friends with, smiley face. And I hate that use of it because I'm like, you know what?
Passive.
Yeah, just deliver the opinion.
Or do a different emoji, like the like concerned face. There's like a lot of other
the one that's like kind of like
the cheese face. I love that's a good one.
But I just hate the use of a smiley face to soften a blow. I'd rather it be like no, smiley face means you're happy about this. You're communicate something happy, not like hey,
like,
so you're
like,
smiling through your teeth. Really horrible news. Your dog got hit by a car or whatever.
But you wouldn't do that in person. That's why it's like
it's unlike real interaction with human. Yeah.
Don't be passive aggressive.
Yeah,
emojis. Don't be passive aggressive.
Or passive confusing or whatever. Yeah. So you like them, and I do too now. And I've come around, and I think they have affected in a, I feel like mostly positive way, but I don't know for sure. We might not know for like a long time.
Yeah.
How they affected digital communication. I feel like it has helped things because you can communicate. Even so, for me, the biggest need is that I want people to know when I'm kidding, and like emojis help do that.
The winking face.
Yeah. Or, you know what I love? And this gets in a little ahead of ourselves, but one of my favorites is the upside down smiley face.
Oh, yeah.
And that one just seems kind of a little bit like, hey, like kind of like chaos, like, like I'm just being silly.
Yeah.
You know?
But also it's kind of just like, my life is great. Upside down smiley face, which implies, and that's what's interesting is that there's a lot of culture behind each emoji. There's even been emojis that they've used for like inappropriate texts and innuendos and stuff that I don't fully understand. But it's interesting how there is a lot of culture that has like used an emoji and turned it into what they want it to be. Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, true that.
So favorite emojis to wrap up?
So upside down smiley. I love the one where that his eyes and mouth are completely flat. So it's like this, like
just the neutral, like but closing your eyes face.
Totally neutral, closing your eyes face. Also seems like you're almost bracing for something. Yeah. So like someone says something that's really cringy, and your only response is just, like closed eyes, flat eyes, flat.
The ... face. So those are all great. My favorite one is actually a combination, and this is like a recent favorite.
Okay.
It's one of the ones that I think is a kissing one. It's the one with the lips that are in the kind of the kiss phase. You've got one with the kissing face with the eyes that are neutral. You have one with the ones the eyes are smiling. So those two, okay? Imagine those two.
Okay.
And then add one of the music note symbols next to it.
Okay.
And it looks like they're whistling.
Nice. I like that. See, there's a creativity there. There's creativity there.
I think I came up with that, but if not, then somebody else can take credit for that as credit is.
Do you use the skin tones on emojis?
I've started. Yeah. It depends. Like some of them, like, oh, that looks like me, and others, it's like, oh, that doesn't look like me. So, and we're both white, so I guess we're
both white.
That as an option. So
I don't do it because I totally think it's cool that people do it.
Sure.
I think white people shouldn't because yellow is close enough to white. So it's like we already had the color basically, but I think it's cool that there's other colors now. But basically, yellow is super close to white. So it's like the big part of me that's like, I get the want to use a different color if your skin tone's pretty different from white. That's just my thought.
Fair enough.
So I feel like I'll stick with yellow.
Okay.
It's close enough for me.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool. Well, I guess the verdict on emojis is that be yourself.
You want to live in a yurt it up. I think that's the thing. Be yourself. Do your thing. I like it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thanks, guys, for listening. We will see you later.
Emojis. They don't have ears.
Emojis. What if they were all square?
That would feel wrong for sure.
Would it though?
Yeah, it would feel wrong.
Why is it round?
Our heads are mostly round.
Yeah, but there's some people who their heads are more
But our heads are mostly round. Like I think it's pretty close.
Okay, fair enough.